welcome to Gulfstream today. Welcome to Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with Acacia Courtney. It is Friday, kicking off a fun weekend here at Gulfstream Park. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're going to have 9 races on tap this afternoon. But it is Friday, and we've been telling you all week long that on Friday we have a great contest. It's called Beat the Expert, and you have about 59 minutes to try and beat this expert right here.
Yes, just under an hour. Make sure that you get your picks in before first post time. 9 races today. My picks are already in. If you can pick more winners than I can, then you'll have the opportunity to win one of those great polo shirts, plus the bragging rights to say that you beat the expert. We do it every Friday. It's been a lot of fun so far, so make sure you get on over there. It's free to enter, and just a good way to spend your Friday.
Yeah, and you go on to the Gulfstream Park website and all different places, Twitter, and it's a lot of fun. And like she said, you get a chance to beat the expert and get one of those cool polo shirts. We got a fast main track today, firm turf course, and typical weather here in South Florida over the last couple of days. Not expecting any rain or anything like that today.
Don't jinx it.
I'm not going to jinx it and everything like that, because we want those beat the expert selections to stay right on top. And let's take a quick look at a wagering menu. That's what we'll do next.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say is that the Rolling Super High 5 starts today. Really nice carryover. We had like 5,700 yesterday, carried over since last night. Now $6,200 plus, and that is in race number 1, along with our first of 2 pick 5s on the afternoon. Acacia will show you her ticket. She's been had a couple winners with them last week and knocking on the door every day with 4 out of 5.
Yes.
And very frustrating. You lose that one, but that's the fun of it. And it's only a 50-cent wager, so you can add other tickets. The Rainbow 6 starts in race number 4 this afternoon. Over $30,000 in that pool. So once again, starting to build, and they'll bet this $70,000 or $80,000, and it'll be up there today or something like that. And we end the day, of course, with another pick 5 in race number 5 with this 9-race card. And once again, that is a 50-cent wager. So the first race today is 1 mile on the turf. It's a claimer. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 in life, or the turf since January 8th, or 3-year-olds. So triple conditions here. And they've got a jockey change on the number 3, make the rider Carlos Hernandez. And that weight stays the same. And let's quickly go to your early pick 5 ticket.
I give you a peek at my ticket. I went 4 deep here in this first race. I wasn't able to find a single today, hoping that get out of the first leg, and then 2 deep in the next race, and 3 in the middle, 2 in my last 2 legs for $48. Still nice and affordable today. Trying to keep it, as you said, just a 50-cent wager, so you can always add a little bit or take a little bit away, but thought the first race was the most wide open.
Yeah, and you changed your angle yesterday and had a single in that first race. So
Yeah.
I knew you were going to have at least 4 in the first race. She's not getting knocked out, and she has a logical 4 horses up there. I started it off in this race with the number 6, Rejoiceful. You remember when we started this race, I told you this was a triple condition race. 3-year-old, non-winners of 3 in life, or a race in 6 months on the turf for 3-year-olds. And I think the number 6 in there, you have it on top too, Rejoiceful, is a 5-time winner. Most of these other horses are 2, 3-time winners. But this one is eligible because fits the non-winners of a turf race in 6 months condition perfectly. Drops, cuts back to a mile, surrendered that late lead to finish second. That was against $10,000 open claimers. No condition claimers in here, going a mile in the 16th. So if you're watching the condition, this one fits it perfectly.
I totally agree with you. It really looks like this is the right spot for Rejoiceful. 8-5 on the morning line. You see very early on in the wagering that she's the favorite right now. You mentioned a 5-time winner out of 27 starts so far. Been knocking on the door the past couple of starts, finishing in the money. And I think that the cutback in distance as well is the good place for her. A little bit too much there with the mile and a 16th. A solid second, being about 4 lengths though, and I just think that little bit less distance might suit.
Yeah, we all rubber stamped the opening event today. We both have the number 8 Redwater in second, stepping up to the next level, stalked early, drew clear late to defeat 10,002 lifetime claimers at the distance by almost 4 lengths that day.
I really liked her performance last time out. Set a really good trip there. She was coming out of a pretty key race, finishing 3rd and then 2nd prior to that, so she won at the mile last time out. Had to go a little bit wide, but still very game performance. And yes, stepping up, but I think it's a logical step up.
Yeah, we both used the number 2 horse in there, Mo Weeze is dropping into this condition claimer, tracked the pace, weakened at the quarter pole to finish 5th behind a horse that you're going to hear a a lot about over the next couple of days. A lot of horses have come out of that
Yeah.
race. I'm talking about Pillowcase. Its last 2 races, a multiple winner.
Yeah, and the past few starts we've been trying to wake up Mo Weiss. I
Right.
know, had her had to win a few back when trying on the turf for the first time. Then she stumbled at the start. Last 2 races hasn't been able to get back into that good form, but I think here she's eligible to show a little bit more pace and might set up a good trip for her.
Yeah, I think we have the logical too, and I like the fact that you added a 3 in there in that in the first race. So 4 deep in for the early pick 5 this afternoon. Race number 2 is a 1-mile claiming event. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 in life for 3-year-olds, $10,000, and it looks like the number 5 horse, Little Caton's the logical one in here.
Yeah, definitely going to be the one to beat. She won last time out. That was on a sloppy track, so certainly have to take that into account. But was finishing pretty strongly in the starts prior to that. Finished 3rd, 2 back on a fast track going a mile. That was against 12.5. And I think that this is another good spot for her. At the start of her career, they thought enough of her to put her in the Grade 3 Old Hat. She only has a couple of wins, but she's coming off of a good victory.
Yeah, and Luca Panici in the saddle today, and he's been riding a good form. Now you went to the 2-horse in second for your selections, and I went with the horse you have in third. Let's hear about that number 2, Solfatara.
I went with Solfatara. Tyler Gaffleone's going to be in the saddle today. This one from the Larry Bates barn, and she's dropping a little bit in class. She's 2 for 22. It's been a while since she's been to the winner's circle back in September, but she's one that often finds the money, that she's often hitting the board. Moved back over to the main track last time out after trying the turf, and she was pretty well beaten there, but I think that she's eligible to improve.
Yeah, number 4, Street Princess, a 2-time winner on the main track, is going back to the dirt today after failing to hit the board and tougher. That was a couple of 10,000 condition claimers on the turf. I just think this horse is better on the main track.
I agree. She also has a good record at this distance. 6 starts, 2 wins, a second and a third, so she should be in the right place.
The number 3, Sheer Chance, 10-1 on the morning line, was a front-running winner at this distance back on May 25th. Stretches out, vied for the lead last time out. Really didn't run that well, got beat double-digit lengths. Maybe the stretch out will wake this horse up. You're certainly going to get a price. I like this horse better at a mile than I did last time out, going 7/8 of a mile. So we'll see how that second race plays out. Third race on the turf, 7 1/2 furlongs, as we mentioned at the top of the show. Turf course is firm, and this one 7 1/2. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life or 3-year-olds. 7 runners in the field in here, and let's go with your horse first on top, and that is Miss Mongolia.
Yeah, this one was second last time out and was beaten just by a length as the odds-on favorite. She was a little bit wide in that stretch, but 2 back, she had a really nice victory at the 12.5 level, so she's stepping up a little bit in class now to the 16, but I think that she's still in a good spot. It was also a good turf last time out when she finished second, so she's going to get a firm turf once again. Marcial Navarro, the trainer.
Well, we got our exacta flip-flop. Starship Sassy is cutting back to 7 1/2 furlongs after losing that stretch with who? The horse I told you to pay attention to, and that was Pillowcase. That was a 16 condition claimer, going a mile in the 16th last out. Pillowcase, as we mentioned, a multiple winner, wins 2 in a row, so keying off that. I think these are the logical 2 horses in there, Miss Mongolia and Starship Sassy, but I know you went to the inside with Susie's Pride of Paris in third.
Yeah, I want to go back and show her most recent start. She was beaten just by 3/4 of a length last time out against $10,000 claimers. She was the number 2 that day. And you see here, she's just bottled up with no space to run. The horse behind her actually ended up clipping heels. You see as they come around the turn, and it almost goes down. So this one didn't really, the clip didn't really affect her. You see that?
Yeah.
That's where the 1-horse Fearless Princess almost goes down. But certainly, it can be a little bit unsettling as you're going in the race there. And it's just a nightmare of a trip for her there. Now she's finally got a little bit of running room. She alters course once again, just the entire time, bottled up with no place to run, and still was very game and managed to hold on for second.
Well, yeah, I mean, after that performance, you got to have that somewhere on your ticket, and third choice on the morning line. But let's talk about the number 2 in here, the horse I use in third, and that's our sister Ania. And I want to go back and show you a performance from this horse. This one lacked room throughout the stretch, and I'm going to show you here, number 3 horse that day, just never really gets a place to run throughout the whole stretch in there. And guess who wins that race? It's Pillowcase in this race, who I told you to pay attention to in here. And who else is in there? Starship Sassy. So I just thought, this horse finally gets some room at the end of the run, but was blocked throughout the stretch. And I think with a clean trip, this one can be part of the exacta trifecta for sure. Ridden today by Cornelio Velasquez.
And one interesting thing, two back, Susie's Pride of Paris actually finished ahead of Pillowcase.
There you go.
So we'll see. Pillowcase seems to be the defining theme through a few of these horses, but those four definitely ones to have on.
Well, dueling spotlights we have in here in race number 3. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back for the 4th, it will be Rainbow 6 time.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a fun contest that we have going on. It's called Beat the Expert. Every Friday, if you're able to pick more winners than me or my co-host Ron Nicoletti, then you will have the chance to win a free polo shirt that says that you beat the expert. Go to facebook.com/Gulfstream Park to enter and use hashtag Beat the Expert to let us know that you're playing. Bring it on.
Welcome back. You saw that. Beat the Experts today. You have about 49 minutes or so to get your selections in. Trying to beat Acacia today in that fun game, or whatever you want to. Contest is better than a game.
Yeah,
contest. And you can win that really nice polo shirt. And one of the selections will be in this 4th race. But before we get and see who we like here, let's show you my Rainbow 6 ticket for this afternoon. We mentioned over 30,000 in the pool. 3 deep, 2, 4, 2, and 2. $57.60. I'm usually around $43. I stepped it up today. Why? I think the races are wide open, and I like 2, 3, 7 in here. And you see the progression as it goes down. So now I'm interested. We do have some scratches in here of the 1, the 4, and the number 8 horses in race number 4 this afternoon. I went with the 2 Mechanics Finest. I'd like to see how you went in here.
Well, I went with the number 2 as well. And we have a general agreement in this race. I agree this is a pretty wide open one, a pretty tough race to handicap. But I went with the 2 Mechanics Finest, who has 1 start under his belt so far. He finished 2nd in his debut, was pretty well beaten in that day. But the winner, Sonito, went on to finish 2nd in the Bird of the Wire Stakes behind the runaway winner 3 Rules that day. So coming out of a little bit of a key race there. Yes, he was no match for the winner there, but it was in a maiden race against a horse that would go on to run in a stake.
Yeah, trained by Mark Paisley, ridden today by Carlos Olivero and Pasley, Mark Pasley. It's a gelded son of Chelsea Catton, and I think it's the logical choice. But this is a wide open affair. I had the choice, if I had the chance, let me say, to add more horses in my Rainbow 6, I would have in this spot. I went with the number 7 in second, Blue Moon Runner, is the son of Concord Point, who shows a solid workout pattern at Gulfstream Park West. In preparation, its career debut, Juan Arias adds Lacey. It's got Pedro Monterrey in the saddle, Pedro Monterrey Jr., and it's a guess on my part because it's a first-time starter.
Yeah, well, that definitely has a nice work tab there, and that's certainly something to keep in mind. I went with another horse in second, who you used in third, that has a previous start under his belt as well. Ran against $35,000 maiden claimers, and that's the number 3, Tito Control. Finished 4th that day, was on the outside, but I think it was a beneficial learning race to start off. Going to get a little bit of class relief today, just a little bit of a notch down. I think it might be a good spot for him.
Oh, the other horse that you used in your ticket was the number 5. I left this one off my Rainbow 6, and I think it's got a logical shot in here. Talking about Don't Come Knocking, Tyler Gaffney, certainly riding in good form.
Yes, had 3 wins yesterday, and this was kind of a connections play and a pedigree play as well. As you mentioned, Tyler Gaffleon riding in really good form. This one by High Cotton, going to debut with Lasix, an okay work tab, nothing serious there, but thought might be able to finish on the board.
Yeah, and just it's really a wide open race in there. You know, we both have number 2 Mechanics Finest on there, but I think if you can find a different way to go or add more horses in your Rainbow 6 ticket or your early pick 5 ticket, this is the spot certainly to do it. With that said, we'll go to race number 5 this afternoon. 5 furlongs on the turf, claimers 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 live, $10,000, 9 runners in the field, no scratches or jockey changes, and we both have number 4 Swag Bag on top of our ticket.
Yes, we do, and this is actually, if I'm not mistaken, where the late pick 5 starts.
That's
So
right.
we'll give you
That's
a quick peek at my ticket before we dive in and start talking about Swag Bag. I went 4 deep in here, including that number 4 Swag Bag. Also added the number 5 Time Out of Mind. $48 once again. I agree with you. A pretty tough sequence here. Wasn't able to find a single for me. So race number 7's where I went the deepest there. 4 deep today. I thought a pretty wide open maiden claiming. So we'll see how that one plays out. But now, Swag bag.
Yeah, I mean, we both used this one on top, and I know you want to go back and show a performance of this horse on June 24th.
I do. This is the most recent start, June 24th, as Ronnie mentioned. This was moving back over to the turf. You see there, number 8, just so wide the entire race. I don't know if it would have ended up winning this race. Might have been. He was making a really good run there. You see, just passing horses, carried wide. The 6 was drifting a little bit there. He might have bumped a little bit too, but after having to go so wide there, managed to hold on for third. I think if he didn't have to cover so much ground, might have been able to finish even stronger.
Well, the number 3 horse who I have in second, Radamel, is wheeling back at the same level and distance after setting the pace. He got caught late when finishing second in front of Swag Bag last time out. It's a son of Discreetly Mine, has MSCL Jaramillo in the saddle, but he's really trying to get that elusive second career victory. 24 starts, only 1 win, 4 seconds and 2/3, thus in the second spot, even though he finished in front of Swag Bag, who was wide last time out.
Yeah, and the thing with a lot of the horses in this field is that they're very inconsistent, and so I find it kind of hard sometimes to go off who beat who in these kind of races, but definitely something to take into consideration. Yes, Radamel is definitely going to be synonymous with speed, but one that does have a hard time finding that way to the winner's circle once again.
Well, we went with the number 5. We basically have the same selections up here, and that's number 5, Time Out of Mind, who's wheeling back to face this familiar competition.
Familiar competition once again, 1 of 2 for Antonio Sano, and here he also has the number 6, El Señor de los Cielos, and Time Out of Mind might sit just behind the speed of Radamel, or might go out more towards the front as well, so we'll see if he can hold on for a piece.
Yeah, and Cornelio Velasquez rides here as Leonel Reyes moves to a Swag Bag there, so a little bit of a musical jockeys you want to pay attention to, and don't forget that's where Acacia's late pick 5 ticket starts, and we got the Rainbow 6, we got the early pick 5 taken care of, we got the Rainbow 6 all taken care of. We'll go to race number 6, which is our final pick 4 of the afternoon. 5 furlongs, maiden special weight, state bred, 2-year-olds. We do have a scratch in here of number 3. Thanks God, and you went with the number 1 horse in here. Well, I used on my ticket too, front loaded.
Well, this was a little bit of a guess here. I can totally understand and could totally see the number 4 Wilshire Star winning this race, but I went to the rail. Jose Pinchin, Emisale Jaramillo, front loaded, has a very nice work tab, a 2-year-old by Cantharos. Want to give you a stat on trainer Jose Pinchin with 2-year-olds in maiden special weight over the past 5 years. 16 for 70, 23% win, in the money 67% of the time. Very strong there, and a positive ROI of 222. I had alluded to the Bird on the Wire Stakes, excuse me. Jose Pinchin won that with 3 rules, so we'll see if he has some more good 2-year-olds from the barn.
And, you know, we have our exactly a flip-flop here because first-time starter from the rail, I backed off that. That's my reason. I know I'm not that enamored with first-time starters breaking from the rail, but you gave great stats. And this guy, his 2-year-olds, Jose Pinchin, have been running exceptionally well. So I would not be shocked. Like, you're not shocked that the 4 Wilshire Star will win. I'm not shocked that the 1 front-loaded will win that race. So let's talk about the 4 Wilshire Stars. The son of Escandrea, debuting for trainer Ralph Nix with 8 local workouts showing, including that recent 3 furlong bullet in 35-1, which was the best clocking of 61 horses at the distance. So it was a pretty good move. Ralph Nix very good with his 2-year-old first-time starters. So a logical choice in there. I think you go exact the box.
I think so too. These 2 are definitely the logical ones.
Well, I had the number 3, Thanks God, in third, and I used 6 Red Cotton on my ticket. She was eligible to show more. She rallied on the sealed. He rallied on the sealed sloppy track. He was 10 lengths back early on. He finished 4th. It's a son of High Cotton. I think he's going to appreciate the fast surface he's going to get today.
Yeah, and I threw on the number 2 Vivid Image from the Gerald Persino barn. Some decent workouts coming into today, and by a 2-year-old by Adios Charlie, who's 3 for 19 with first-time starters winning first out. So we'll see if we can bump that number up. This one's a half to Stakes Place Rasta Rant.
And as I mentioned, this starts our late pick 4 this afternoon, and tomorrow on Saturday, 12 race card, 12:45 post. And we have 3 pick 4s. We have a mid-race pick 4, mid-card race 4. It's race number 5. So just be aware tomorrow when you're handicapping. 12:45 post, 12 races with 3 pick fours this
Yeah,
afternoon.
if you're a fan of those pick fours, this is your dream come true for tomorrow. But don't forget to mark that early post time down in your calendar.
Yeah, 12:45 there. So race number 7 this afternoon, 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf. A maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds, and upward $20,000. 8 runners in this field, and you went with the number 2. I can understand it. August Lily on top. I went with Bold Char. We'll talk about August Lily first, and I'll tell you why I like Bold Char.
Yeah, well, I thought that this was another wide open race. As I mentioned, I went 4 deep on here, and Bold Char was the one that I added to my top 3.
Right.
I can totally understand that. But I went with the horse who looks like she's really sitting on a winning performance, going to stretch out in distance. Last 2 starts were at 7.5 furlongs, and she's going to drop a little bit in class. She actually debuted at the maiden claiming $20,000 level, going a mile on the turf. I would say that's probably one of her stronger performances for sure. She finished second there, came back and stepped up to 35,000, finished another second. Last time out, very well beaten as the favorite. I think the dropping class and the stretch out is where she needs to be.
Yeah, and I spoke to Ron Spatz about this horse yesterday. Just happened to run into and everything, and he wants this horse. He wants this horse to be covered up and make one move at the end today. So just passing it on rather than go to the lead. So August Lily, a logical contender, in the Bold Char, as I mentioned, stretching out to a mile in the 16th. Returned from a 7-month layoff to finish a 5-wide second against similar. That was going a mile on a good turf. It's David Forks, Cornelio Velasquez in the saddle.
Absolutely, and David Fox actually has 2 in here. The other one is the 3 Annie Schiller, who I threw on my top 3 here. So you did one David Fox, I took the other. This one added blinkers last time out, and though she finished 7th against $35,000 maidens, she was only beaten by 3 3/4 lengths. So I think it was kind of a blanket finish. She stalked the pace very nicely. She's also getting a bit of class relief as well, and that was her first start after being claimed and moving over into the Fox barn. So I think she might be in the good spot.
And number 6, Maxine, I know we both used on our ticket. You actually have it in second.
Yeah, this one is another one taking a drop. This a big drop, actually. After about a 5-month layoff last time out, moved from special weight company to maiden claiming. That was against $50,000 maiden, so going to drop to the $20,000 tag today. 0 for 8 so far, but with that class relief, the addition of blinkers 2 back.
Yeah, and I think it's a logical choice. We got a stat on Maxine Dane Kavinsky over the last 5 years. Maiden claimers on the turf. He's 16 for 78, 21%, 45% in the money with a $2.11 ROI. So pretty good.
Yeah, pretty strong numbers there and a positive ROI. Anytime you can get that, that's always a good thing.
I want to mention a horse that's a little bit of a price on there. 6-1 is the 4 White Hart Lane. This one now in the Michelle Nihei barn drops to the $20,000 level. Had trouble. If you have time to go back on either on the machines here, if you're at the track and look at the race recalls, this horse had some trouble going into the first time. Might be worth the flyer at a price.
6-1 on the morning line, and Luca Panici in the saddle.
Luca Panici.
Yeah, killing it lately.
Let's go to race number 8, a 1-mile allowance, optional claimant 3 and up, or the optional claimant price of $62,500. Boy, and I think it's pretty hard not to have the number 3 Wildcat Wish on top of your ticket.
Well, I think so too. Finished such a game second last time out. Was beaten just by a head. Had lacked room. Didn't really have any place to run. Stalked the pace really nicely. Was beaten by Rich Daddy. Finished ahead of High Kodiak Warrior, who's the number 1 that we both had in second here. And prior to that, was second sprinting in the Big Cypress Stakes.
Yeah, and I just think he's a logical choice off that performance you mentioned, the 6.5 furlong Big Cypress, and got beaten ahead at this level in distance. Stanley Gold, Eddie Castro atop, the son of Wildcat Air. Looks like the logical one, and as you mentioned, we both used the number 1 High Kodiak Warrior in second, who proved last time out he could compete at this level.
Yeah, he won very impressively at the $25,000 optional claiming level, stepped up to this level, and finished that solid third there right behind Wildcat Wish.
Well, we're in agreement here twice today, I believe, or at least 4 fire starter, going back to the main track after a couple of solid performances on the turf, including that 4th place finish behind Miex Approval Stakes winner Air Bueno. It's the son of Tappet, Luca Panici. Again, handling the surface switch this afternoon.
Yeah, we can't say it enough. And this one also from the David Fox barn. We're trying different distances. 2 back, tried 7.5 on the turf and finished second. Stretched out to the mile and 16th last time out. So we're going to try right in the middle today and see if this is the right spot.
Yeah, and Air Bueno has been running in really good form. So if you can run with that horse, you sort of figure in that spot. Race number 9 this afternoon, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $1,500. Scratch the 2, scratch the 10, scratch the 11, and scratch the number 12 horse in here. And we both have the number 7, Magic Mangus, on top of our ticket. And I almost was going to single this horse in my Rainbow Six, but I didn't. I went a little bit deeper. So I thought this was the logical one in the nightcap.
Yeah, definitely the logical one. Of course, the concern is that the past few starts just been knocking at the door, hasn't been able to get to the winner's circle. But I think last time out was one of the stronger performances. Finished second, beaten by just a head. But that was when he was bumped at the start, just had some traffic trouble there, and still it was so game to have that second.
Yeah, and we both used the number 8 horse, Times the Essence, in second, is hoping to keep a straight cross. After drifting through the lane, he still managed to finish third behind Magic Mangus in their recent clash at this distance.
Yeah, off of that performance for sure. Third last time out, beaten by 2 lengths, 2 back, another third. So see if can step up a little bit and finish in the money once again.
What about number 6 in here, used on your ticket, Zukov?
Yeah, I just threw this one on. Had been finishing pretty well. This one's 0 for 18 in starts so far. Was bumped back early and ended up finishing 6th, but was pushed up to 5th through the disqualification of a horse ahead of him. And I just think looking past it at performances prior to that, often finishes up in the money, sometimes against tougher, so might be able to put in a run here.
And I used the number 3, Mongolian Party, who's eligible to offer more after showing some early speed. He weakened to finish 4th, his career debut at this level and distance. And I think the sophomore has the tactical ability to use that, inside post, which is post 3 today, to run well in the nightcap. I don't know what he is on the morning line. He's third choice, 5 to 1. So, he figures in there as a tactical, type of horse, a speed horse that, gets a good position. Could be dangerous in that spot. Well, that's how we see the 9 race card. So we got a lot going on today. We've got Beat the Expert.
Yes. That's number 1. Don't forget about that.
That's number 1. We told you about the great carryover in the Super High 5 in the first race. And, of course, we have the Rainbow Six with over $30,000, which starts in race number 4. And once again, we want to mention tomorrow we got that special post of 12:45 and 12 race card.
12 race card with 3 opportunities at the pick 4. So hopefully you did your homework for Beat the Expert today. But once that's all entered in, then you got to start on tomorrow.
Oh, you got to keep going here. You got to have your selections done by now. There's only 33 minutes to post for race number 1. Once again, the main track is fast. The turf course is firm. We're going to turn it over in a minute or two to our track announcer, Pete Aiello. He'll update you on all the scratches and changes you need to have a fun day here at the beautiful Gulfstream Park.
And hopefully you're trying to beat the expert.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a fun contest